plenty of possession, but in the end you finished empty-handed.
Yeah, I think we played against a decent team, a very good possession-based team, and I think we nullified a number of their threats, and I think we upset the way that they wanted to play the game. And I think the game boiled down basically to two defining moments, two free kicks, one on the edge of our box and one in the middle of the park. Something that we can improve on, and something we need to, when the ball goes dead, we need to come alive and switch on and nullify the threat. You've got a good delivery, good movement for their free kick, but not the defending that I expect.
Yeah, I mean, the second free kick, there's some doubts about whether it should have gone Hull City's way, and maybe the Cobbers should have had a free kick themselves a few seconds earlier for Harry Smith. Maybe the Cobbers were slightly disappointed at the way those decisions went against them.
Again, I think if you wanted to talk about the decisions that the referee got right and wrong, I think we take up the majority of this interview debating every single one of them, because there was a few.
Yeah, you seem to have a little word with him at the end of the first half, the end of the second half. I'm sure you chose your words carefully, but got across your point about his performance.
I think probably one of the things that I've learned to, when you need to speak to the officials, you need to do it in the right way, the correct way. Otherwise, it's an appearance at Wembley and a donation to their Christmas fund. And I'd rather not donate any more money. But again, I'll ask the referee at the end of the game if I can have a word with him. He said he needs to check what the protocol is, as into where I can have that word with him, whether I can go into his environment or whether we can have it in an open environment. So I'm just waiting to find out from that.
If you get the chance to speak to him, can you tell us what kind of questions you'd asked him? What kind of things were you frustrated by today?
Well, I've got it in my mind what I'm going to ask him, but depending on what his reply, the next question might be completely different and go off bat.
Okay. Anyway, it's still a decent start to the season. 4 points in your first 3 games. Disappointing today. A lot of possession. You said before the match that Hull are a class act. They're going to be a big threat in League One. Did they do a bit of a job on you today here by soaking up all your pressure and taking their chances when they came along?
Well, again, I think it was two defining moments. Two free kicks, one in the middle of the park and one on the edge of the box. Apart from that, I think it was two evenly matched teams on possession, and probably they may have had one other chance to win the ball in the box. I thought today our final third entries were poor. Our selection of pass was poor, and it's something that we will improve on, and getting that understanding back of how we want to play.
Positives, you had Harry Smith back in action today after injury, Nicky Adams as well. Let's talk about Nicky Adams. You didn't bring him on until quite late. Are you trying to nurture him back to full fitness and make sure he doesn't overdo it, because he's obviously going to be a key part of your team for this season?
Well, Nicky's had one training session, but I wanted to get him on the pitch. That's his next progression. Harry Smith today played longer than I wanted him to play. Joe Nuttall today played longer than I wanted him to play. But it's a case of I still thought there was something in the game for us even in the last 10 minutes, and I think we have got quality deliverers ball in the box, we've got a physical presence in the box, we've got good goal scorers on the pitch. So within the last 10 minutes, I'm still thinking we can still get something out of this game, because we get one goal. I think they can be quite fragile. I think we saw that in the first 20 minutes of the game. I don't be upset with I think they had a little bit of good game management then. They squealed with every challenge, rolled over with every single challenge, appealed to the referee with every single challenge, and sometimes there was no more than a twisted sock.
Yeah, that must really frustrate you seeing that happen. George Honeyman, let's name names. He was quite vociferous, wasn't he, with his squealing?
Well, you could use name names, not me. He was probably annoying you, Tim, was he?
To be honest about it, he was. He reminded me a little bit of Alan McCormack last season, who was very effective in winding up the opposition. George seemed to be, probably standing right behind him, he seemed to be keen on winding up the referee and winding up the Cobbers players.
It's part and parcel of the game. We're going to come up against it again. We get a reputation of being a very combative team. You either stand up against us and go toe to toe with us, or you roll over and squeal.
Yeah, okay. And just going back to the strikers, you mentioned you brought on Joe Nuttall and Harry Smith. You had Chuck Wamika as well up top. Was it maybe slightly disappointing you didn't provide them with better service towards the end? You had the big 3 men up there. You didn't perhaps get as many opportunities to reduce the arrears that you would like to see them get.
Yeah, I think I touched on that when I said our final third entries needed to be better to give those lads a little bit more, some better service to work with.
Yeah, and Rakic off towards the end. We hope he hasn't added to your injury problems. He seemed very frustrated at coming off. He threw off his tracksuit top, threw it away. I mean, is that good because it shows he cares, or is that disappointing because he was so angry?
Luke is a very competitive individual, and again, I think I just saw him stretching his hamstring with about 5-10 minutes to go. And you're thinking, I don't need to lose a centre back for him wanting to stay on the pitch. He's desperate to stay on the pitch, but it's the safety and welfare of the players. You're thinking, yeah, well, we've got a free week, now we can regroup again, we can have a second day recovery on Monday, and then we start the process of building up for the challenges ahead of next week on Tuesday. And I'm hoping then by Tuesday we might have a few other players back involved in training.
Any more likely new acquisitions? You're coming up now to the transfer deadline day. I've asked you this every time I see you, but are you still looking to strengthen?
Always working, always working.
Of course you are. You complete 2 years at the PTS with this performance today. You've come a long way. You've got the Cobbers out of League 2. They're well placed in the middle of League 1. As things stand, you must be satisfied. Okay, today hasn't gone your way, but you must be satisfied with your first 2 years here.
I've got to say to him, when you first come to a football club, you have a look at the fabric, you have a look at gain an understanding of how and the mechanics of the football club, and that encompasses everything, right from the chairman, from the owners, the stakeholders, down to what you staff-wise, what the employees of the football club, and also the supporters of the football club. And you take that on board, and then you format your plan of working together. And I think that is 2 years here has been a lot of work together with everybody involved that I just mentioned there, pulling in the same direction, being on the same page, and that's massively important. If you're a manager of a football club, you want everybody on the same page. It took me a while when I was at Curle, when I first went to Curle, just being relegated, 4 points adrift at the bottom. Used to go to games, and all the supporters they weren't paying attention to what was happening on the pitch. They all wanted to voice their concerns about the director's box, the ownership, the direction of the football club. It took me a year and a half, 2 years to get people interested in football and voicing their support for the football club through their support to the players. It took me a year and a half, nearly 2 years. And again, within that, we had 3 top 10 finishes and a playoff finish as well. So it took us at this football club. There's a lot of people on the same page, which is very, very pleasing.
Just a final